You wake up, but the temperature is minus 30 degrees Celsius. The wind feels like thousands of tiny knives cutting your skin. Snow covers everything. There are no houses, no jackets, no boots, no heaters, no supermarkets, no hospitals, just endless white. And somewhere, a hungry pack of wolves is already following your footprints. Tonight, if you make one mistake, you die. This wasn't a nightmare. This was just another ordinary winter for ancient humans. Now here's the crazy part. Ancient humans actually survived this. Not for days, not for months, but for thousands of years. They had no modern technology, no weather forecasts, no warm beds, no emergency shelters. Yet somehow, they survived one of the coldest periods in Earth's history. So, how did ancient humans survive freezing winters? The answer might completely change the way you see our ancestors. Around 20,000 years ago, Earth looked nothing like it does today. Massive glaciers stretched across Europe, Asia, and North America. Entire forests disappeared beneath thick sheets of ice.
Rivers turned into solid, rock-hard highways of frozen water. The sun gave almost no warmth. Winter wasn't a season. For many ancient humans, it was life itself. Every sunrise meant another battle. Every sunset could be your last. For most animals, winter meant hiding or dying. But ancient humans did something no other species had ever done. Instead of running away, they adapted. And that decision changed human history forever. The biggest enemy wasn't hungry wolves. It wasn't giant bears. It wasn't even starvation. It was something much quieter. The cold. The human body works best at around 37 degrees Celsius. Drop just a few degrees, and your muscles stop working properly. Your fingers stop listening to your brain. Your thoughts become slower. You become confused, sleepy. Then, your heart begins to fail. Ancient humans didn't understand biology. They didn't know what body temperature was. But after watching friends,
family, and children die in freezing winter, they learned one lesson. Never let your body get cold. That lesson saved our species. One day, everything changed. After bringing down a large deer, an ancient hunter noticed something strange. The animal's thick fur was warmer than his own skin. Instead of throwing it away, he wrapped it around himself. For the first time, winter didn't feel impossible. That simple discovery became one of humanity's greatest inventions. Soon, ancient humans weren't just hunting for meat. They were hunting for survival. Every successful hunt provided food, warm clothing, blankets, and protection from freezing winds. Animal skins became jackets. Fur became insulation. Bones became needles. Strong tendons became thread. Every single part of the animal had a purpose.
nothing was wasted. But even the warmest clothing wasn't enough. The freezing wind could still steal your body heat. So ancient humans searched for shelter. Whenever they found caves, they stayed. Not because caves were comfortable, but because they blocked the deadly wind. And when caves weren't available, they built their own homes, using thick branches, wood, animal hides, and in some places, even giant mammoth bones. Imagine sleeping inside a house built from the skeleton of one of the largest animals that ever walked the earth. It sounds unbelievable, yet archaeologists have actually discovered these homes. Inside, families stayed close together, sharing body heat, protecting each other, waiting for another sunrise. Then came humanity's greatest weapon, fire. Today, fire is everywhere. We barely think about it. But for ancient humans, fire wasn't convenience. It was survival. It warmed frozen hands, cooked frozen meat, melted snow into drinking water, dried wet clothes, scared away predators hiding in the darkness. Without fire,
The Ice Age may have wiped humans out forever, but starting a fire was only half the battle. Keeping it alive was even harder. Imagine walking through deep snow, searching for dry wood, while your fingers slowly lose feeling. Imagine protecting a tiny flame during freezing winds. Sometimes, one careless mistake meant the fire died. And if the fire died, someone in the group might not survive the night. That's why many ancient humans treated fire like another member of the family. Someone was almost always watching it, feeding it, protecting it, because they knew their lives depended on it. Winter brought another terrifying problem: food. Animals disappeared. Plants vanished beneath snow. Rivers froze.
Some days, there was almost nothing to eat. Ancient humans quickly realized something important. Whenever food was available, they ate as much as they possibly could, especially fat, because fat gave the body enormous amounts of energy. Energy created heat, and heat meant survival. In a frozen world, body fat wasn't unhealthy. It was life itself. And yet, despite warm clothing, strong shelters, burning fires, and smarter hunting, winter still had one final enemy. One that no spear, no animal skin, and no fire could completely defeat: loneliness. Because surviving the Ice Age was almost impossible alone. But here's what makes ancient humans different from almost every other animal. They didn't survive the Ice Age because they were the biggest, or the fastest, or the strongest. They survived because they survived together. Imagine trying to hunt a mammoth alone. You wouldn't stand a chance. Imagine building a shelter alone. By the time you finished, winter would probably kill you. Imagine sleeping while hungry wolves circled your camp. Alone, you'd never wake up. Ancient humans understood something incredible. One human was weak, but 20 humans working together could survive almost anything. Every person in the tribe had a job. The strongest hunted. Others searched for firewood. Some repaired animal skin clothing. Some watched the children. The elderly rarely hunted anymore, but they carried something even more valuable: knowledge. They remembered where animals migrated, which caves stayed warm, which plants could still be found beneath the snow. They became the tribe's living library. Without them, entire generations might never have survived. Then there were the predators. And trust me, they were far more terrifying than anything alive today. Massive cave lions, dire wolves, hyenas, giant bears, and perhaps the most terrifying of them all, the saber-toothed cat. These animals weren't monsters. They were simply starving, just like the humans. Imagine sitting beside a small fire, late at night. Everything around you is silent. Then you hear footsteps. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Something is walking through the snow. You can't see it, but it can smell you. Every shadow suddenly feels alive. Ancient humans lived with that fear every single night. This constant danger changed something inside the human brain. People became better at noticing small details: fresh footprints, broken branches, animal sounds, the direction of the wind. They learned to predict danger before danger appeared. In many ways, winter trained the human brain. It forced people to think ahead, to make plans, to solve problems. And those skills eventually helped humans dominate the planet. But perhaps the greatest invention wasn't fire. It wasn't clothing. It wasn't even shelter. It was sharing. When one hunter returned with food, the entire tribe ate. When one family lost their shelter, others made room. When someone became injured, the group protected them. Most animals abandoned the weak. ancient humans often refuse to. That simple decision may have changed human history forever, because a child saved today could become tomorrow's greatest hunter. An injured adult might later discover a better hunting route. Keeping everyone alive made the entire tribe stronger. Scientists believe this is one reason humans became so successful. We weren't built to survive alone. We evolved to depend on each other. Cooperation became our greatest weapon. Not sharp teeth, not giant muscles, not claws.
Teamwork. Now, think about your own life. When winter comes, you close a window, turn on a heater, wear a warm jacket, drink hot coffee. It all feels normal. But every one of those comforts exists because ancient humans refused to give up. Every freezing night they survived, every lesson they learned, every mistake they paid for with their lives helped build the world you live in today. So the next time you complain that it's cold outside, remember this: your ancestors survived temperatures colder than most freezers. They fought predators bigger than cars, built homes from bones, wore clothes made from hunted animals, protected tiny flames through endless snowstorms. And somehow, they survived. Not because winter was easy, but because quitting was never an option. The Ice Age didn't just test ancient humans. It created them. It shaped their courage, their intelligence, their teamwork. And without those brutal winters, modern humanity might never have existed. So maybe the greatest survival story in history isn't about defeating nature. It's about learning how to live with it. Because thousands of years later, every single one of us is living proof that they won. Thanks for watching.